About the structure of this deal and its significance.
Right, so these banks are basically backing the private equity firm GTCR, which is based in Chicago, right, Sherry? And it's mainly JPM Morgan and Goldman Sachs, but also other names involved include Deutsche Bank as well, and UBS and Wells Fargo City. They all have a piece of the pie. They're lining up about $8.4 billion worth of leverage loans and high yield bonds, and another $1.25 billion in a revolving credit facility. And that would value the target, which, as you said, is WorldPay, at $18.5 billion in total. Now, currently, WorldPay is a unit of FIS, or Fidelity National Information Services. FIS acquired it back only in 2019 for $41 billion. So this is a huge write-down in a way for WorldPay. That happened earlier this year. It wrote down its acquisition by $17.5 billion. At the time, FIS thought it would spin off WorldPay's business. Now it's actually a leveraged buyout, and it's being called a separation path by the newly installed CEO of FIS, Stephanie Ferris, who's trying to engender a turnaround because FIS has really been suffering from having WorldPay, which, by the way, handles card payments for businesses all over the world and has huge volume. Its volume last year was about $2 trillion. It just hasn't really been able to keep up with all of the upstarts, from the tiny companies, the likes of Neum based in Singapore, right to the huge companies like Stripe in the United States, which, by the way, are also still private.
The deal has a broader resonance on Wall Street, though.
Yeah, exactly, Heidi. I mean, is this what we've been waiting for? It is a pretty massive deal, and it looks like the banks are very happy to take it on and to pass on this debt in the form of syndication from September onwards, according to sources to Bloomberg. They have some clients lined up, some institutional clients. And if you think about it, the last time we saw a deal bigger than this was about a year ago, and that was Twitter. That was the Twitter deal, and we know how that turned out. Banks were maybe not as enthusiastic about that particular deal, but they're very enthusiastic about this deal. It's a little bit smaller for the banks, $8.5 billion versus the 13 that they agreed to lend Elon Musk for his takeover of Twitter. But this, for a change, is a quote-unquote normal deal. WorldPay has a very good reputation. The banks are very happy to provide this financing, and I guess they're looking forward to syndicating it and have institutional buyers buy it. So if this is a tiny sign of the nascent recovery and deal making that we were looking for, then that's good news all around, and it's certainly making things a little bit more enthusiastic for those deal makers on Wall Street.